Okay, welcome. Grading for PJ's Factors V2. I gotta pull up my grade sheet here. There we go. Let's see. Right, I'm gonna keep doing this just in case. Really recommend people watch this at 2x speed. Might be a little bit more difficult for Asia region viewers, so your mileage might vary. But I figured I'd bring it up just in case. Um, Overall, just scrolling through, this is a pretty tough region too. Right, I would like to mention points are going to start seemingly lower than other regions because I'm going to need the space for that many different submissions. But that's not to take away from the total score. Um, if that makes any sense, like the number will be lower, but it's just to make better room for scoring. I'll probably announce it on the Discord at some point or something, just in case. Okay, the cap uses an energy shell front part, the shaker from an Opt MP, the spring-looking thing, four O-rings, Opt. Wait, 3 times 4x1, or in 4 sets of wait. Oh, that's the size of the O-ring. Never mind. Opt grip, and then half a big round stick. And the circular cap from it's from the acrylic cap marker. I keep thinking that's I keep wanting to think that's an embossed cap for some reason. I don't know why. Just maybe I'm old. I'm old. That's why. That's why I keep thinking like that. Acrylic marker. There's also a section of Zuan BZ Timu mod silicone over the opt grip, not including this picture. The circular acrylic cap is hot glued onto the opt. Be sure to avoid falling off, as there's no other way to secure it. I don't have these pieces on my hand right now. Maybe there's a way. I don't know. Well, opt MP shaker. Let's see. I don't know. There's some crazy methodologies out there for people to be connecting some weird stuff beyond hot glue. The 3 O-rings on each shaker are to prevent it from shaking on the inside of the. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's really nice. Thought that was thought through even on the spinning aspect side. Which sometimes I wish I could grade that. The O-rings underneath the opt grip are on the energel front parts. The second striped factus section is held in place by the energel front part of the cap. The half of big round stick is there to leave enough room for the energel front to hold the stripe part to be held in place firmly. There's duct tape underneath. Duct tape underneath the big grip. Everyone knows I hate tape. Despise tape. Anything and everything with tape. I just hate. My hatred for tape is immensely beyond. It's almost incomprehensible. Yeah. So here are some of the pictures. Actually, so one of the pieces that I kind of like. I'm glad that they put enough amount of even O-rings like throughout the thing for like the aesthetics, so it has that like texture coming out of it, and it matches like this piece. But it almost feels a little overwhelming, if that makes any sense. I feel like this is maybe like a little too many rings for its aesthetic. I feel like it's kind of overbearing. I like how it like that opt grip's like bleeding through into it, but the thing that it's kind of bothering me mentally, and I'd wager people. This is like a side thought. If you're spinning it right, if you're doing wipers and whatnot, it's kind of annoying to have like a a depth bump go down. So that's actually one of the things that like I would try to find like maybe a clear grip like air blank or something to like cover through it to like have it like pull through smoothly. And it would make the aesthetics of like it like kind of come down a little bit more if that makes any sense. So that's one of the things that I'm proud like in my mind like why I'm removing like points for it for like the aesthetics. The complexity is definitely there from the document we read, but I mean, I'd be lying otherwise. Like I've glanced through I haven't looked through deeply through every submission. I've glanced through it. There's stuff that's even more complex than this mod. Um because I wanted to be able to gauge where like the point differentiation is like will be easy because ideally if I could be the only judge, I'd have a little bit more time control in this. But originality, it doesn't feel like it's too crazy original is probably my biggest thing. Beyond that, it's like construction, but like the core mods that we see in terms of like the world of like metapens per se, that's one of the pieces where I feel like it's not the outer look of it doesn't catch me to be like I really want to make this pen right now, and that's gonna be a pretty big aspect that's gonna be put in the Asian region judging because I'm gonna have to be just I have to little tighten up just a little bit on how I'm gonna start conveying stuff just so that there's like enough points because I'm purposefully using 1 to 10 points to decrease complexity. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of that into it, and there's not like any extra additional functionality on top of it, where I would be applying more points onto it. And then moving on to the cleanliness section, I don't know what this piece and grip is, but there's like a nick here. There might be some nicks here where, and then like there's that presentation thing that I brought up in the past where like if you're gonna be presenting it, the cleanliness, like not that like it wasn't cut cleanly. I'm reiterating things multiple times throughout every video, and not to be repetitive, but for the people who might only just watch the one video, and I would probably use like an alcohol swab to like clean that out for before presenting that out. I do like that there is like a pink brown piece aesthetic to it, but what's kind of like driving me slightly nuts is that I don't know how cleanly the pink piece seems to be. Oh, well, there's a better picture. No, that's fine. Okay. But yeah, I would try to work on this black grip. That's probably my biggest judgmental piece right now. I can't visibly tell any nail marks. I'm nearly competent. I'm tempted to say, without being able to fully verify, that these white stripes likely have some nail marks, but since I can't see it, I'm not going to place judgment onto it. But moving on to the grade sheets, complexity. While it's there, the aesthetic isn't like overwhelming. So I'm gonna cut these in half this time around in comparison to before, just to it'll be easier to like view and gauge. The complexity is there. I don't think it's crazy complex, especially with like the competitors moving forward. So I'm gonna give it like a 2.5 on its complexity of the if we're splitting the 10 out of in half. The aesthetic is just like not there entirely for me. There's slight aesthetics, but there's nothing that's like really eye popping and eye catching, and it's almost borderline like I almost wonder is the pink out of place, or could you have added like maybe a metal ring onto it? Like there are so many different layers of like aesthetic creativity on top of it that like I'm gonna give the aesthetic side of the 5 section of the aesthetics 1.5. Um, so that puts that category as into 4. And then originality and function for originality and like parts of it ties in with some functionality if you have any functionality with it. Um, I wouldn't say it's the most crazy original thing. Um, while like the inner pieces are very like original in like the style that it was made, there's nothing that's like crazy like something that might be like super original not in like the full like grand scheme picture is like that and also more ties into pieces of like the functionality pieces that like can you change the weight of this mod like on the go or on the fly or like while you're at home. That might be like something that like I might be thinking of because like that's actually a functionality of like my one of my pens like an OTK or in the olden boomer days like a Buster 3000 um and there's just a lot of aspects of it where it's just like it's just one of those other like Factus mods but like kind of grouped differently with some other stuff. So there's that. I'm probably gonna give the originality also a 4 on it. It's not crazy to the point where it's not bringing me there fully out of the 10 that I would like to see. Um, but the cutting for most of the stuff, like the barrel was done really well. So that's cleanliness there. The only major pieces that so the grip, that's like a 2 point deduction. The structural integrity inside of it and whatnot. Slightly worried. There's a lot of grip structure and pressure going into it with this piece, and it's using multiple of these rings to hold on to it. So, and it also uses duct tape. So that's already like 6 point deduction around there, around there. Um, I know it's very. I'm sure some people are like, oh, it's just tape. Like, what if you tape it on cleanly? So one of the thought processes on like tape is that like as a mod grows old, dust and lint and whatnot and like the sticky residue grow into it. And I know everyone's like, well, things like pens and rubber aren't built to last. Um, but one of the things that I like, me as a person that I strive for is like the longest longevity possible in a mod. And what does the like what am I trying to convey with that is that like if you don't need tape and things start to fit in structurally almost borderline perfect, there's there's also a Japanese concept behind this. It's in their woodworking craft where if you can cut something so perfectly and cleanly and things fit in naturally, things will last longer over time. And we can see that with the temples that they've made in Japan. And it's one of the aspects of modding that I've actually included into my modding that I've never actually ever spoken about. And I've noticed that when I compare my pens to other people's pens when it's the same pen, when I change out maybe some of the structural integrity in it, where I'm no longer using tape or like a methodology of like holding stuff together without it, there's a lot of not only does the mod stay clean like internally longer, but it also just is more stable long term as well. Um, so that's why there's like a 6 point dock out of the 10 for this because I have the context with the hot glue for it. Hot glue, unless if you're using too much, there's almost a worry about how much weight you're putting onto the mod itself as well. And that also will create a disparity on like if someone's a really big fan of your mod, right? Um, well, how do I know how much hot glue you used other than beyond a picture? So I like if I wanted to make something picture perfect to you because I'm a huge fan of you, like how can I as like a modder who's like dedicated to mimicking the original piece as much as possible be able to um mimic that? And that's like another that's why there's like a huge six point dock on this. Um, so that's why. And I was provided the context for it. Technically, if you didn't provide the context, arguably you probably could get away with it. But I'd much rather the more details is better. It's I don't know. If you ever release it, right, people are gonna know about it. But that's I don't know. Getting a little sidetracked. So that's why that's the overly long version of justification for why that there's a 6 point dock. It just all doesn't come through like together to push it through. Normally I wouldn't have been like as harsh, but I do need the extra points room for the amount of participants. So, um, feel free to like multiply maybe the scores by like 1.2 from what they might actually be overall. But yeah, that, I don't know, maybe don't multiply it. But yeah, that puts you at a 12-point position. Also, thank you so much for participating. I'm sure it must have taken a lot of time to figure out this section, which I'm not gonna lie, it is cool because like this is a part that's like commonly used, right? So, but yeah, I just wish this was like a kind of secured a little bit more cleanly in my mind. Like in my like that's what's going on in my mind. I wish I could spend the extra time in each and every video for especially Asia region's complexity where I could like go and try it myself really quick and then like tell you guys like hey maybe this is like super like secure but like generally my intuition from my experience is not too far off. If you need 3 of these o-rings, might be some small worries here and there, you know. But yeah, man. Thanks for participating. It's not the bad mod. My only real suggestion beyond the cleanliness cutting, which you'll probably improve over time if you continue to pursue this is like maybe add an air blank grip, make it a little bit more smooth here. But yeah, that's about it. Perfect. On to the next one.